Now, you guys, on July 9th of 2014, a man by the name of Ronald Haskell would carry out one of the most gruesome attacks in Texas history. So, y'all, Ronald had been married to a woman by the name of Melanie before she decided to call it quits. Now, Ronald had reportedly been extremely abusive to his ex-wife, and he even had charges of assault and domestic violence before the marriage even ended. So once the marriage did finally come to an end, Melanie decided to move closer to her sister Katie in Houston. Now, this was in February of 2014. But y'all, sources are saying that Ronald became even more crazier even after the divorce. Now, y'all, on July 9th of 2014, Ronald ended up going to the home of Katie. Now, living at this home is Katie, her husband, and her 5 kids. So it's being said that Ronald went to the home of Katie looking for Melanie. He went there with his old FedEx uniform on, and at first he acted like he was a delivery driver. So Cassidy, which is Katie's 15-year-old daughter, she answered the door and she didn't know who Ronald was because he looked different. So he asked for her parents, but at that point in time, her parents were not home. So Ronald ends up leaving, but he comes back later, and when he comes back, he forcefully makes his way in the home. Now, her parents are still not home, but he does go ahead and go in and he ties Cassidy up. So y'all, eventually, Katie, her husband, and her other 4 kids do return to the home. They are also tied up by Ronald. Now remember, he's looking for Melanie, but Melanie is not even here. This is Katie, the sister. Now, y'all, after tying everybody up, he then carries out one of the most gruesome killings I've ever covered. Now, y'all, he kills Katie, he kills her husband, and her 4 kids. Now, what's crazy is he did shoot Cassidy as well, but Cassidy ended up moving her arm at a moment when he shot, and her doing that literally saved her life. So after killing everybody in the home except Cassidy, he then flees the scene. Once police arrive on the scene, Cassidy is able to tell them exactly who did this and what happened. So they end up finding Ronald at another house, and that's when a standoff happens, but eventually they do take him into custody. And y'all, this man literally killed 6 people and injured one, almost taking her life.
3-year-old Ron Haskell appeared wooden as the events of Wednesday were read in court. But when it got to the point where he allegedly shot a family of 7 execution style at their home in Spring, he fell to his knees. The first time, officers helped Haskell to his feet. The second time, he was placed in a chair and wheeled away as the case carried on.
So Ronald did stand trial. The ex-wife testified against him, and so did Cassidy. And y'all, they actually sentenced him to death.
Affirmative verdict to issue number 1 and a unanimous negative verdict to issue number 2, the court sentences you to death by lethal injection. It is therefore the order, judgment, and decree of this court that you be remanded to the custody of the sheriff of this county to be delivered to the institutional division of the Texas Department of Criminal Justice.
So y'all, after everything that Cassidy had went through, she finally got a sense of justice.
I feel a lot of relief. It feels like a huge weight has been lifted off my chest, and I feel like justice is finally going to be served. I'm glad that I don't have to worry about it anymore.
But y'all, this case just recently had an update. It turns out that a judge has illegally tried to get this man off of death row. So a judge that does not believe in the death sentence basically has tried to get this man off of death row, but she's doing it in a really messed up way. So y'all, what's sick about this is she did this without telling anybody. She had this man taken out of the prison that he was in and put in a county jail. Now remember, this is a man who is on death row. And she had him taken to a private facility in order to get an MRI done because she feels like he did this because of mental illness. She does not believe that he should have the death sentence. But regardless of that, y'all, the way she went about it is just completely crazy. Watch this.
Haskell and MRI. Cornelio, who opposes the death penalty, apparently told the DA's office years ago, before becoming a judge, she thought Haskell was, quote, sick. These are pictures of Haskell unshackled, surrounded by other patients in a waiting room at a Texas Medical Center MRI facility.
So y'all, allegedly, the only people that knew that she was doing this was him and his lawyer. Now, when he went to the county jail, he was even afraid because there's a jail call that was recorded of him talking to one of his parents. And he's telling him that he doesn't understand why all of this is going on. Now, y'all, he's even saying that at one point in time, they almost let him out in general population on accident. Now, I don't know what's the deal with this judge. He literally carried out an extremely gruesome crime. The divorce was over. This lady moved on with her life. He should have moved on with his. That crime that he did was premeditated, even down to him going to the house the first time and them not being there. He had a chance right then to say, okay, I'm not going to do this, but he came back. Not only did he kill this lady's sister, her husband, he killed 4 innocent kids. This girl literally watched her entire family be executed, and this man deserves to be where he's at. Now, regardless if you believe in the death penalty or not, y'all, this gave me Vicky White vibes when she had that man leaving the jail without telling people. You should have never been transporting a death row inmate without letting anybody know. Now, they're trying to get this judge's job taken away from her. And I don't know, I think just the fact that she did that, and that was a huge security risk, I don't think that she should have her job either. Now, you guys, comment below and let me know your thoughts on this case. Do you think that judge should be fired? And do you think she was trying to help him get that MRI so he could plead insanity and get a lesser sentence? Comment below.